Welcome to Pets in Paradise TV, the show that explores the relationship between humans and animals in one of the most beautiful places on Earth, Hawaii. Here's what's coming up in the next half hour. Does your heart melt when you see a puppy? Do you just yearn to hold and cuddle it? Well, maybe it's not a puppy you want. Maybe it's an older dog. We'll find out. If you're looking for a good addition to your family, no matter if it's a puppy or an older dog, you might be looking for a Labrador Retriever, one of the most popular breeds of all, with good reason. And no matter what the breed, accidents do happen, and sometimes it just takes some love and ingenuity to solve the problem. It's all ahead. Pets in Paradise TV starts now. With many things in the world, new is better. Not so, though, when it comes to dogs. In this segment, we'll tell you about the differences between puppies and older dogs, not just because of their ages, but because of their behavior, and why an older dog might be more of a match for your family.
Some of the benefits of adopting an adult dog are that they are already housebroken, they know basic commands. Typically, an adult dog will settle into your house routine very easily and very quickly.
While older dogs are cool and calm, puppies are just bursting with energy. That vim and vigor could be something you're looking for, but remember that dogs age faster than humans, and by the time they're a couple of years old, the first signs of health problems start to arise.
All of the genetic and the hereditary diseases, by the age of 2 to 4, we may not see full-blown disease, but we'll see, and as we get older, even more pronounced, we'll see what problems they do have. So you start already knowing what you've got.
There's no way to tell just by looking whether a puppy will suffer from a health problem in the future, but with an older dog, there are no secrets or surprises.
If you get a 4-year-old dog, you know if that dog has bad hip dysplasia because he's already showing signs. Whereas with a puppy, you're not necessarily going to know that, and you can't even take x-rays at least that are diagnostic until they're 2.
Puppies want to chew everything up, play all the time, and poop. These guys poop once a day to 2 times a day, and usually a lot easier to train or already trained.
Puppies are a lot like human babies. They need attention, lots of it. Older dogs have no trouble being left alone at home while you're at work or while the kids are at school. Like retirees, they know how to relax.
A puppy, on the other hand, has 2 modes: on, and off, crash and burn. And very little time in the middle where they're just calm and cruising through the house.
Take it from someone who knows. Don't leave a puppy home alone, especially if you want your home to be the same way you left it.
Once I adopted a 3-month-old puppy, and it was a terror. He chewed everything. The housebreaking was rough. It was really difficult because I was working. Whereas with the older dogs, you don't have to go through all that. You don't have to worry if you have to leave them alone. Whereas with a puppy, you do. They'll tear up your house.
If you're thinking, my cute little pup would never be so naughty, we decided to do a little experiment to show you the difference between an older dog and a puppy. Here are our 2 test subjects. Trinity on the left is 3 years old. Pepper on the right is a puppy about 8 months old. Let's see how they behaved when he left them alone for half an hour. While Trinity stayed calm, Pepper tore into her toys and pretty much the whole room. For one thing, puppies' teeth. They chew on things as their teeth grow in. Secondly, they're babies, curious, and getting into everything is just how they learn about the world around them.
We found out with the dogs that have been through a lot of abandonment and loss of the families, or just want another family to live with them and just want to please the families. With puppies, they want to please themselves and just have fun.
So far, we've seen that older dogs are pretty independent. They've got some skills down, but they can be a little more complex when it comes to love, especially if they've had a rough past.
So adult dogs do enjoy daily walks, although they're not quite as hyperactive or needy as puppies can be. I do find that adult dogs are a little more snuggly and affectionate, so if that's what you're looking for, one of these dogs may be the dog for you.
If you're worrying about the old saying, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, forget it. It's actually puppies that are harder to train.
Just like humans, we're finding a lot of our lifestyle choices, and we have a lot of nutraceuticals that can help them age gracefully, so to speak. A lot of these guys are living into their teens, 14, 15, 16, and even the little dogs are hitting 20s.
So if you do decide to adopt an adult dog, there are far more options for you. There are many, many adult dogs out there looking for their forever homes.
That's a lot of years and a lot of love that older dogs still have to share with you. They're calmly and patiently waiting to be adopted by you and join you as your forever friend. Animal adoption agencies report that puppies get adopted at a much faster rate than adult dogs. It's also true that small dogs get adopted more quickly than big dogs. But what about the color of animals up for adoption? Is that a factor? Do you know what color gets adopted most? When it comes to color, adoption rates aren't very far apart, but the color that gets adopted most is golden. After that, in order of popularity, it's black, tan, chocolate, tricolored, white, apricot, gray, brindle, and in 10th place, chestnut. And maybe it's no coincidence that one of the most popular dogs, the Labrador Retriever, comes in the top colors. Now back to more Pets in Paradise TV. There are more than 500 dog breeds, ranging from the world's smallest, the Chihuahua, to the mighty Great Dane. Our goal is to pick one and learn all about it in It's All About the Breed. Today, it's all about the Labrador Retriever. Always one of the most popular breeds, and often is considered the most popular breed, is the Labrador Retriever. A family-friendly dog that was, and sometimes still is, used for hunting, but for the most part, Labs are known as terrific pets. Unlike the name implies, the Labrador Retriever is not from Labrador, but rather from another Canadian province, Newfoundland, where it was produced from what was then the St. John's Water Dog. But because of circumstances, the St. John's Water Dog was not being bred, and the breed died out eventually. Luckily, in the 1830s, an English earl had imported some, and it was from those Labs that the modern breed evolved. The earl was impressed with the Lab's water retrieval abilities. Labrador Retrievers are a top choice as a guide or rescue dog. In many countries, they're trained to help the blind, people with autism, and to act as therapy dogs. They often work as detection dogs for law enforcement. Labs come in 3 colors, black, chocolate, and yellow, and sometimes have white markings. The black Lab came first, and it wasn't until the 1900s that chocolate and yellow were recognized. Lab puppies are some of the cutest and most adorable puppies you can imagine, but they do grow up to be fairly large dogs, with males usually weighing from 65 to 80 pounds and females 55 to 70. Labs that are bred for show are a little different looking than those that are bred as working dogs. The show dogs tend to be a little smaller, shorter, and stockier, with fuller faces and a slightly calmer nature. They've got a short and dense coat. They shed twice a year, except in warm or tropical climates where they're losing their hair constantly. But overall, they're considered low maintenance. As with most breeds, Labradors need obedience training when they're young, but training a Lab is enjoyable, and they're quick learners. They're good apartment dogs, although they do need exercise, so they need to be walked and allowed to run in a dog park. As for temperament, that's where a lab shines. They're considered kind, pleasant, outgoing, and because they were bred to gently retrieve waterfowl, they like to hold things in their mouths, toys especially, but sometimes an owner's hand. But all the while, they hold items gently. They love to play ball and are great at frisbee. Labs are great with kids and other pets. Labs, of course, love the water and never miss a chance for a quick swim. Health issues are relatively few, although they are prone to hip and elbow dysplasia and often suffer from knee problems. Some labs also carry genes responsible for poor eyesight, retinal atrophy, and cataracts. Obesity is also a problem. Labs love to eat, and without proper exercise and diet, they can really pack on the pounds. Some studies have shown that up to a quarter of all domesticated Labrador Retrievers in the U.S. are overweight. And now you know all about the Labrador Retriever. If you're thinking about getting a lab and you really like the chocolate color, what colors do the parents have to be to produce a chocolate-colored lab? If you want a chocolate-covered Labrador Retriever, or a black one, or a yellow one, it doesn't matter what color the parents are. The two genes that are responsible for determining a lab's color are carried by all labs, and it's even possible for all three colors to be found in one litter. Meet Helen. She's not like other dogs.
Helen is handicapped, but in a dog's world, she doesn't know that she's handicapped. She just deals with it matter-of-factly and trucks on with it, and she races around the office, dragging her legs.
She came to the Oahu SPCA this way, and while she's friendly and loving, her difference can make her harder to adopt.
She definitely needs to be somewhere where she, can be taken care of very easily, picked up, use the bathroom outside, but a lot of times she is going to use the bathroom on herself without knowing it because she can't feel it.
So now the challenge, how to help Helen.
Helen came in with severe spinal issues. She couldn't walk, and my first thought was to find a way to get her mobile.
At this point, we think it's pretty eminent that she's probably going to need a wheelchair, and this is probably her best bet to have a good life despite her disability. And it's kind of inspired us to name her Helen, like Hell on Wheels, since we're hoping she's going to get around really good on her new set of wheels.
Getting her on wheels isn't an easy task.
We did some looking online for wheelchairs that are pre-made. They're a fortune. People really charge a lot for something that's very simple.
So he got creative, getting together spare parts from his home and the hardware store to create this wheelchair for Helen. The price tag? Around $10. But will it work? Let's see.
It's designed so that if she gets tired, she can rest without any discomfort. And she should enjoy this immensely. This is our first fitting for Helen on wheels. Okay, now get out in front of her. You're supposed to roll, little one. You're supposed to roll, not supposed to bounce up and down.
Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither will Helen's wheelchair. It still needs a little tweaking.
I'm gonna extend the wheels down a little bit farther. That'll give her a better stable platform. Other than that, she was moving around okay, but she just needs to be a little bit more horizontal while she's moving. Okay, so this is phase 2. We revamped the wheelchair for her, made the wheels longer and sturdier, so she'll be more horizontal when she's running on her wheels.
After trial and error, let's see how phase 2 works.
First shot with the second revision, the bigger wheel, she went crazy and had a good time running around the whole place.
This time the wheelchair is a success. Hell on Wheels found herself new freedom. But it wasn't long until doctors realized they may be able to help Helen's life even better by restoring the use of her legs. They decided to investigate, and in a minute, we'll see what they found out. Making a DIY wheelchair for a paralyzed dog is a good option to save money if you're creative and handy with tools, but if you're not, be prepared to spend some money. Making a simple wheelchair yourself can save you lots of money. A typical two-wheeled cart starts at about $250, but can go as high as $500. More complicated wheelchairs are even more expensive. There are companies dedicated to making wheelchairs and prosthetics solely for dogs and cats, and they supply vets with just about any item they need, from 2 to 5-wheel wheelchairs to full-body wheelchairs, and a variety of braces and other prosthetics. Helen is a young Chihuahua that came to the Oahu SPCA partially paralyzed, unable to use her back legs. She was fitted with a doggy wheelchair that helped her move around. It improved her life greatly. But doctors wanted to know if there was anything that could be done medically to give her the use of her legs again. They decided to find out. It began with an examination into the extent of Helen's damaged spinal cord.
There's varying degrees of damage to the cord, and those dogs that have severe cord damage, that have no muscle control, no sensation, no ability to do anything with their back legs, that means that if they have no cerebral awareness to pain, then you've only about 6 hours to be able to help them, and then the cord remains permanently damaged.
But Helen didn't fall into that category. She had little muscle and little movement, but she did have a chance. So doctors moved ahead with the surgery to help her walk on her own.
Just about to start the surgery with Helen, and the biggest criteria and our biggest worry is whether that spinal cord is intact. We know the vertebrae are separated and broken, but whether her spinal cord is intact is everything.
The only way doctors could be sure that they could help Helen was to look at her spinal cord. If it's severed, there would be nothing they could do.
Well, we've just completed Helen's surgery, and we're very pleased that the spinal cord was intact. It was badly bruised, but it was intact, and that gives us a great deal of encouragement. Had it been severed, we would not have completed the surgery. But there's a real good chance that we will now have slow and positive improvement.
When Helen first came out of surgery, she couldn't stand at all.
And now look at her, standing tall and proud on all four.
It's been about 4 weeks, and since then we've been working every day to try to rebuild her muscles back here. Are you gonna stand? See, she's standing right now, which is good. Good job, Helen. Up, 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 up. Ah.
She really has done very well. We're very pleased with her progress. She now is able to stand. She's able to urinate on her own, and soon she'll start to take some steps.
It's been my job to give her physical therapy, which I try to get her to stand as long as she can in a natural standing position. I try to pull her legs back so she gives me some resistance, try to rebuild those muscles, give them something to work against.
In terms of her long-term success, there's a 60 to 70% chance that we would have normal walking or ambulation. It'll take a while, but we're very encouraged with her progress.
Well, we hope that one day she can walk on her own. And it's going to be a really long road toward that, but that's what physical therapy is. It's slow but steady.
While you might say she was meant to be hell on wheels, it looks like Helen's life has taken a turn for the better. Thanks to the help of many, she can now live a happy, healthy, more fulfilling life.